This project I started with a 3x12 canvas that I painted with Artist Loft iridescent medium. Then I took painter's tape and put it around the perimeter of the back to catch any resin drips. I had found this material on Temu. I thought it was so cool. It kind of looks like lizard skin, and I printed up this Christmas tree off of my Cricut design space. I taped it down onto it and then I cut it out, and this was very tedious, but I did manage to cut it out. The fabric was too thick to cut out on my Cricut machine. I need to get a rotary tool. I used Mod Podge to glue it down onto the canvas, and I let this dry overnight. Then I had picked up this punch bowl set at a garage sale a while back. I've used these cups in many different videos. And I thought for this Christmas tree it would be pretty if I had some texture to the glass. And the very top rim of it does not have any texture, but I kind of nip that off. And then as you go down further into the cup, it has a real pretty pattern on it that I thought would look real nice for this Christmas tree that I'm going to make. It's the shape of the pieces of glass that you want for the Christmas tree, pointed at both ends. That way they will partially stand up for the Christmas tree. And I ended up nipping up 2.5 cups for this tree. After I get all the glass that I think I'm going to need for this project, I get out my 3-pound tumbler and I put all the glass inside of the tumbler. I just cover the top of the glass with water, and then I put a squirt of Dawn dish liquid in it, dish soap, and all this does is helps clean the glass. It doesn't do anything to take the sharp edges off. And I put it on the tumbler for about an hour and a half actually. So I find that the thicker the glass is, the faster it tumbles and is not sharp, and the thinner the glass is, the longer you have to tumble it. So usually have to tumble anywhere from 1 to 2.5 hours maybe. Done tumbling, I just dumped it out into the colander in the sink, rinsed it off, and then dumped it onto a towel to dry. And now it is no longer sharp. You don't have to worry about cutting yourself. If you sell your art, you don't have to worry about your customers cutting themselves. The glass looks exactly the same as if you had just nipped it and not tumbled it. It's just safer to use. After the glass had dried, I started setting up my project. And what I did was I just started going through my pieces of glass, putting the larger pieces of glass toward the bottom, kind of putting them on the curve so that they matched with the curve of the tree branches that are there. And just slowly going up the side, getting the branches or the pieces of glass smaller and smaller as I went up. And so this glass here, depending on how you lay it, when you nip it like that, one side will stand up more than the other, and you kind of want it on your side a little bit so that you can see the texture in the glass. And this can be a little bit tricky because when you put resin on textured glass, it can take the texture away, especially if the textured glass is flat. So with that being said, this glass is going to be kind of on a slant, so I'm hoping enough resin will get on it to hold it down, but most of it will slide off of it so that you can still see the texture of the glass. And once you get all the edges covered, then you come back, or I came back and I filled in all the center parts. And this is the part that you can use the long pieces, but you can also use the little tiny pieces just to drop in the areas that aren't covered. And now it's pretty much ready for the resin. I put a piece of jewelry on for the trunk of the tree, and then for the top of the tree I used a little star that I think I had picked up at Hobby Lobby. The resin I'm using for this project is Naked Fusion, the original formula. The original formula has a different cap and comes in a different box. It has the black and white cap. This resin is can work really well on canvas. The other Naked Fusion, the new and improved formula, does not work as well on canvas as this original formula. So I take it, I have some little cups, and I put my canvas up on the cups, and the reason you put it up on the cups is when the resin drips down along the sides, it will stick to what's ever under it. And although this is a silicone mat, it's a non-stick silicone mat that resin won't stick to, it will drip around the edge and kind of pool around the canvas, and it could be difficult to get off. So it's in your best interest to put it up on cups. And now when I start to drizzle the resin, I drizzle it over the glass first, and once I've covered all the glass, then I start going around the perimeter of the canvas with the resin. And I do like the sides resined also. If you don't want the sides resined and you have this perfectly flat, you can actually dome the resin on top, just don't push it over the sides. But I actually like the sides of it smoothed out with the resin, and that's what I'm doing with my gloved hand. I usually use the spoon to spread it out on top of the canvas, and I usually use my gloved hand to spread it around the edges of the canvas. Here, as I'm doing the resin, I am also putting more pieces of glass on top. I think the more the glass, the prettier it looks. I use a toothpick to move any stray glass around and to get sediment out. After I'm done with the project, I always come back every 15 minutes to check for glass placement, to check for sediment, to check for more bubbles. I use the kitchen torch to get rid of the bubbles initially, and when I come back, I may have to retorch if I see more bubbles. And they suggest you put the resin in hot water for 10 to 15 minutes before mixing. This resin has 0 VOCs, has a 45-minute work time, and cures best at temperatures between 70 and 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Read the directions for the resin that you are using because all resins are different. It's in your best interest to cover it with a dust cover when finished. Very bottom, I put some silver tube confetti. Hey everyone, another Christmas tree. So I think it turned out pretty. I wondered how it would be because when you dump the resin on it, you know, you can see right through it. Well, it's clear glass, you can see through it anyway. But I think I did lose some of the texture. That's the bad thing about pouring resin on textured glass, is that you lose the texture, especially if it's the glass is laying flat. Then what happens is the resin goes in all the crevices and it covers it up. But this was on its side, so I thought it wouldn't, you know, it would kind of drizzle off of it and just leave a fine coat of resin on it. But it did cover it up a little. But I think that's kind of pretty like that, putting the color under it. And I love, so this material is so cool, isn't it? And it came in a roll, and it really is like several feet long. It was from Temu. I want to say it was around $5 to $7 maybe even a little bit less, but I will link it in the description. So all in all, I think it turned out pretty. I hope you guys enjoyed the project. So you could paint under it too, you know, paint a Christmas tree and then put the glass on it. But just because this had, I don't know if you can see how it's kind of a color change. It has the different colors in it. So so that's what makes it prettier, you know, with the fabric. And I need to get one of those rotary cutters for my Cricut. The cutter that I have on it now will not cut this thick of material because it's really a fairly thick material. It's not like the vinyl. I actually tried it on it. It partially cut it. So anyway, all in all, I think it's pretty. I hope you guys enjoyed the project. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. That really helps the channel. If you enjoy the channel, go ahead and subscribe. The holidays are coming up. I'm going to be putting out 2 videos every week, or I have been actually. You know, it's not even Halloween yet, and here we are with all our Christmas stuff. Isn't that crazy? So anyway, have the Facebook page going. Everybody's posting their beautiful artwork, mostly holiday. And I hope you guys all have a great day. Thanks for watching.